late, the moon was drifting like a whisper through the sky, and the world felt soft and silver as the night kept. I was sitting by the window with a quiet, restless mind, when a thought of you came floating like a voice I couldn't find. I didn't know you then, not your laughter, not your face, just a feeling wrapped in starlight, just a tremor on grace. But something in the darkness softly shifted in its frame. The night grew warm and gentle when it first spoke out your name. And I felt a door inside me open quietly and slow, like the universe was telling me there's something I should know. When the night first spoke your name, every heartbeat felt aflame. Something ancient, something new, pulled the stars a bit towards you. In that hush, the sky became a place where dreams and fate align. When the night first spoke your name, it echoed softly into mine. Quiet like the world was half asleep, and the thoughts of you from midnight drifted softly, slow and deep. I walked into the sunrise with your name still in my chest, like the night had left a whisper where my heartbeat came to rest. Your presence wasn't real yet, not in touch or sight or scene, but something in the air felt like the start of something keen. And every breath I took that day felt gentler than it seemed, as if my feet were falling into soft steps of a dream. And I felt the world grow lighter as the dawn began to gleam, like the universe was pulling me toward a life I'd only dreamed. Soft steps into a dream where your name becomes the theme. Every moment glows in gold, every fear begins to fold. I don't know what this will mean, but my heart leans in between. Soft steps into a dream where you're closer than you seem. I wandered through the morning with a strange familiar pull, like a memory unfinished, like a cup that wasn't full. Your name kept echoing softly through the spaces in my mind, like a song I hadn't learned yet, but I knew the ties that bind. And when I passed the quiet street where sunlight touched the floor, a warmth rose up inside me, like I'd stood there once before. Though I hadn't met you yet, something tugged beneath the seams, a gentle, slow awakening in the soft steps of a dream. Funny how a quiet feeling can unravel what we hide, how the dream we think is distant starts to walk right by our side. Soft steps into a dream where the world feels more serene. Every sound becomes a sign, every moment feels alive. Though I'm lost in what may seem, still my heart knows this routine. before the truth appears, in the way a lonely sunset suddenly feels free of fears. Maybe love begins in footsteps soft as moonlight on a stream, and we walk to one another in the quiet of a dream. Soft steps into a dream where nothing's what it seems, yet everything feels destined, like a soft and golden gleam. And though I don't know where it leads, I feel the pull in gentle speeds. Soft steps into a dream where you move inside my knees. And now my days feel different, lit by something bright and clean, all because the night called softly and I followed in a dream. Soft and silver when our paths first crossed in time, and the moon hung low above us like a quiet, perfect sign. You were standing by the lamplight with a softness in your eyes, as if the stars had left their sparkles in the dark and gentle skies. I felt the world fall silent, felt the moment breathing slow, and the breeze that brushed between us held a warmth I didn't know. It was written in the stillness, in the glow that stood apart. The moonlight found your edges and it painted on your heart. And I saw the shadows soften as they danced across your skin, like the night was gently asking me to let this moment. Moonlight painted on your heart, drawing lines of where we'd start. Silver secrets in your glow, softest stories we don't know. Every breath felt like an art. Moonlight painted on your heart, guiding us through dreams apart. You turned to face me slowly with a smile I can't forget, one that shimmered through the darkness like a promise softly said. For a second, time felt fragile, held its breath inside the breeze, and the world became a painting made of silver memories. I didn't know your history, your hidden hopes or fears, but the moonlight drew a map of you that felt like whispered ears. And though we barely spoke, I knew this was only the start. Something gentle taking root where moonlight touched your heart. Funny how a quiet evening can rewrite the path ahead, how a moment dipped in silver turns to words we haven't said. Moonlight painted on your quiet tune. Every sigh a silver moon. Though the night kept us apart, I felt something warm in part. Moonlight painted on your heart a beginning. Maybe love begins in shadows, where the gentle lights fall through, where the silver touches softly on the parts we never knew. Maybe hearts glow more in darkness, where the world can't tear apart, and the night reveals the colors. Moonlight paints upon the heart. Moonlight painted on your heart, turning darkness into art. I could see the future there in the calmness of your stare. Soft beginnings, quiet start. Moonlight painted on your heart, where my dreams learned who you are. And now each night I wander back to where our worlds would part, to that silver quiet moment when moonlight took your heart.
It happened in a moment that the evening held in place, when you turned a little toward me with a soft kind of grace. Your eyes were filled with moonlight, left from all the nights before, and your smile broke through the shadows like a quiet open door. The world around us faded, all its sound and all its style. Everything fell into rhythm with the slow motion of your smile. And though you barely meant it, though it lasted just a while, my heart began to tremble at the slow motion in your smile. How a second could unravel everything, how a simple curve of lips could make a frozen moment sing. Slow motion in your smile, stopped in time for just a while. Every flutter in my chest found a place to come to rest in that gentle glowing style. I felt dreams begin to compile. Slow motion in your smile made the world feel reconciled. You laughed about the stillness, said the night felt oddly calm, but I knew the reason clearly. Your soft smile had been the balm. It wrapped around the my fears and made them small, like a warm and quiet blanket, gently covering them all. And when our eyes met closely, just for half a borrowed mile, I saw futures traced in silver in the slow motion of your smile. I didn't know what love meant yet, but I knew its subtle dial. It began its sweetest whisper in the slow motion in your smile. Funny how a tender moment can ignite a hidden spark, how a smile can be the lantern that outshines the deepest dark. Slow motion in your smile, where my heartbeat turned docile. Every second stretched in gold, every breath became a fold. And for just a little while, time was yours in every mile. Slow motion in your smile, where my walls grew versatile. Maybe love begins in glimpses, barely held and barely known, in the quiet way a person makes your heart feel not alone. Maybe time slows down on purpose, just to let the truth compile, just to show you how it starts in the slow motion of a smile. Slow motion in your smile, where the night turned worthwhile. Every moment found its place, every dream unveiled its face. I didn't know love's profile, but I learned it in your style. Slow motion in your smile, where my heart stayed for a while, and still I see it glowing in each memory I compile. The night my dream began, in the slow motion of your smile.
It was late, the room was quiet, and my thoughts were drifting slow, floating lightly through the shadows where the softest feelings grow. I was lying in the half-light where the night and morning meet, wrapped in warmth and gentle echoes of your laughter in the sheets. My eyes were barely open, but my heart was wide awake, caught between the dream and dawn in a way I couldn't shake. And somewhere in that stillness, in that tender tinted hue, I realized softly, slowly, I was falling hard in that half-asleep surrender. Nothing heavy, nothing new, just a quiet truth unfolding in the way my heartbeat grew. Half asleep and falling for you, in the glow the night once knew. Every breath felt soft and warm, every thought took perfect form. I didn't mean to, but it's true. Half asleep and falling for you, in a dream I drifted through. by the door. I could almost hear your footsteps from the way the silence swayed, as if love had learned to walk here long before we ever stayed. I felt your presence near me, like a whisper in the room, like a promise made in dreaming that the day would soon resume. And though my eyes were heavy, my heart knew what it knew. There was no more denying I was falling into you. Funny how the quiet moments say the things we dare not speak. How a drowsy heart grows honest when the world is soft and meek. Half asleep and falling for you. With each memory I withdrew. In the hush of silver skies, love was clear behind my eyes. In the drifting follow through, I let my guard fade out of view. Half asleep and falling for you. Gentle, slow and overdue. Maybe love is found in places where the waking world can't see. In the moments soft and blurry, where the soul walks quietly. Maybe half asleep is honest, where our fears no longer brew. Where I finally heard my heart say that it's fallen deep for you. Half asleep and falling for you. Where the dawn fell born anew. Every dream pulled you in close. Every breath felt like a dose. I knew the moment passion grew. Knew the way my heart rang true. Half asleep and falling for you. In the calm the night once drew. And even now I feel it in the mornings breaking through. That dream where love first whispered, I'm falling into you. There's a softness in morning when the world is barely born, when the light is pale and golden, stretching softly past the dawn. And in those quiet moments where the air feels warm and true, I notice how my heartbeat seems to fall in sync with you. We don't speak in loud confessions, don't declare what might be near, but the silence that we share is filled with meanings I reveal. And something deep inside me blooms whenever you break through. In the gentle hours forming in the quiet space of you. And I feel the day unfolding in the softness of your gait, where the unspoken grows louder. footsteps that feel like peace, as if the morning tailored light exactly where your thoughts release. And when your laughter drifts across the kitchen's waking air, it's like the world turns softer just because you're standing there. I brew the coffee slowly just to hear you hum a tune. And I swear the day feels lighter when we move in gentle swoon. Every second seems to gather all the hints and subtle clues. Love grows quiet but persistent in the gentle hours of you. Funny how the smallest gestures hold the biggest truths inside. How a lingering look at sunrise makes the heart forget to hide. In the gentle hours between us, where our hesitations free us, where the morning breathes our name and the world feels still the same. I can feel your spirit lean as tender moments intertwine us. Love is slowly learning us in the gentle hours between us. Maybe love is born in silence, not in thunder, not in storms, but in quiet conversations, where the tender feeling forms. Maybe hearts don't rush to find it. Maybe it begins in trust, in the soft unspoken sunrise of the gentle hours between us. In the gentle hours between us, where the morning light convenes us, where a whisper means much more than the words we're reaching for. All the fragile truths redeem us, all the tender glances screen us. Love was always meant to grow in the gentle hours between us, in the gentle hours between us. And every dawn reminds me, as the warm light filters through, that the day I fell in softly was the gentle hour of you. There was fog across the morning, drifting quietly and slow, like the world was half remembered in a dream I used to know. Your silhouette was softened by the pale and silver light, and the air felt thick with something pulling heartbeats into sight. I reached toward your shadow as the dawn began to rise, and the haze around your fingers held the truth I recognized. Though the world looked blurred and distant, something warm began to blaze when I felt your presence forming through your hands inside the haze. And the mist became a messenger, holding moments still and deep, like a dream that isn't over when you drift your street, and your fingers brushed my knuckles in a gesture faint and sweet. The world felt half awakened, caught between the night and day, and our hearts beat in the margin where the softness comes to stay. I couldn't see your features, only outlines shaped in light, but the warmth of you was brighter than the sun behind the white. And though everything was clouded, nothing felt like disarray. Your hands were clear with meaning as they reached my arm midway. Funny how the hazy moments make the truest feelings right. How the world can blur around us while love sharpens in our eyes. Your hands in the haze, where my trembling heart obeys. Every touch a quiet thread, every motion softly said. In that muted glowing phase, where the world was lost in grace, I felt love begin to raise from your hands inside the haze. Maybe love appears the clearest when the world is hard to see, when the fog becomes a canvas where our souls paint quietly. Maybe hearts are most aware in the dim of morning's gaze, where we learn to trust the warmth of someone's hands inside the haze. Your hands in the haze, where time softened all its ways. Reaching out, you pulled me through every doubt I never knew. In the fog's embracing maze, where my fears began to lace, I found something meant to stay. When your hands inside the haze, the haze. Now each misty morning, when the world forgets its shape, I remember how love found me in your hands across the haze. When the house is still and quiet and the clock forgets to chime, I sit alone with thoughts of you and lose my sense of time. The moonlight through the window spills its silver on the page, and I start to write the feelings that I'm scared to fully gauge. You don't know the way I tremble when I think of where we've been, or how your hands inside the haze still rest beneath my skin. So I spill my hidden heart out with the gentlest of might, in the letters I keep writing after every lonely night. And the ink begins confessing what my lips can't dare to send, words that wait for courage in the hours without end. Letters written after midnight, soft and fragile, dimly bright,
where my truth learns how to write. I write about the moments when your smile restored my air, how the slow motion of your laughter made the world feel less unfair. I write about the morning haze where your fingers reach for mine, and how the gentle hours between us felt like something by design. But I also write the pieces that I'm scared you'd run away from, every doubt and every tremor, every ache that leaves me undone. Still the night becomes my witness, and the paper holds me tight for every hope I tuck inside these letters after midnight. Funny how the darkened hours make the heart less shy to speak, how the midnight turns our courage from uncertain into need. Letters written after midnight, filled with truths I fail to find. Every sentence is a door to the love I fear you'd ignore. Still I write them out of sight, folded soft, kept out of light. Letters written after midnight, where my heart learns to ignite. Maybe love begins in shadows, where the unvoiced feelings climb, where the quiet ink of longing writes the stories lost in time. Maybe one day you will read them, every trembling fragile line, but for now they stay as whispers in this lonely heart of mine. Letters written after midnight, held together, folded tight. Every word a piece of me, every sigh a plea to see. I don't know if it's alright to love you in this shadow light. Letters written after midnight, where my secrets learn to write. And someday if you ask me how my heart first held your light, I'll show the hidden pages of the letters after midnight. There was silver on the pavement when the evening settled in, and the breeze felt like a whisper brushing lightly on my skin. We were walking side by side, but you were quiet, pulled away, like the night had changed its rhythm and the stars forgot their sway. I glanced at you in moonlight, and your eyes seemed far and faint, holding shadows I had never seen beneath your calm restraint. And the dream we'd built so softly seemed to flicker, shift and sway, a tremor in the dreamlight, where the night began to fray. I felt the warmth around us weaken, like a truth you meant to hide, a subtle shaking in the silence, standing quiet a tremor in the dreamlight, something fragile, something slight. All the warmth began to bend, all the shadows tried to mend. I could feel you slip from sight in the trembling quiet night, a tremor in the dreamlight. was tired, though your voice betrayed much more, like a wave beneath the surface, pulling gently from the shore. I reached to touch your shoulder, felt you stiffen in the breeze, and the calm we'd grown accustomed to fell softly to its knees. I thought about the letters you were writing after midnight, how your fears spilled out in darkness while you hid them from the light. Now those trembling truths were rising, breaking through in disarray. A tremor in the dreamlight, where the night began to sway. Funny how the quiet moments hold the loudest kind of ache, how the smallest shift in breathing shows the dream about to break. A tremor in the dreamlight, soft but sharp as second sight. Something drifting out of tune, something shaken by the moon, though you held my hand polite. You were fading from our height. A tremor in the dreamlight, pulling warmth into the night. Maybe dreams don't end in thunder, maybe love begins to quake long before the heart admits it, long before the fractures break. Maybe silence is the warning, made of shadows we outgrow. A tremor in the dreamlight is the first sign we should know. A tremor in the dreamlight, where we used to feel so right. All the stars felt rearranged, all the rhythms subtly changed. And though you held on out of spite, I could feel your distant fight. A tremor in the dreamlight, where our love forgot its height. And now I see it clearly in the glow of soft moonlight, that love begins to whisper when there's tremor in the dreamlight. When you drifted out of reach, it happened in a moment I can still replay with ease, when the night was barely breathing and the wind had lost its breeze. You were standing right beside me, but your eyes were somewhere far, lost beyond the silver shimmer of a faint and distant star. I called your name so softly just to bring you back to me, but the warmth we once had carried felt too fragile to foresee. And though your hand was in my hand, it trembled like a breeze. I knew the night had shifted when you drifted
out of reach, and the silence grew between us like a tide without a shore, pulling everything familiar into something we'd ignore. When you drifted out of reach, like a wave beneath my feet, every dream we held in place started slipping into space. I could feel your heartbeat beating faintly incomplete. When you drifted out of reach, love felt quiet, bittersweet. We walked beneath the lamplights where we used to laugh with ease, but your steps were slower, colder, wrapped in shadows I could tease. I tried to catch your glances like I used to in the haze, but your gaze slid past my shoulder like a ghost of former days. And the dream we'd built so gently through the letters, through the dawn, started trembling at its edges like the warmth was nearly gone. You whispered you were tired, but your tone betrayed a breach. I felt you slip behind the veil as you drifted out of reach. Funny how the smallest distance feels much larger in the heart. How the fading of a whisper pulls the whole world far apart. When you drifted out of reach, like a shadow I can't teach. Every moment turned to dust, every promise lost its trust. Though your voice was soft and sweet, all its warmth fell incomplete. When you drifted out of reach, I felt love admit defeat. In silence long before we say goodbye. Maybe closeness turns to distance in a single fragile sigh. Maybe love begins to falter when the truth we fear won't speak, and the dream begins its ending when someone drifts out of reach. When you drifted out of reach, all our colors turned to bleach. Every echo that I chased faded through the empty space. Love once strong began to leach, pulled away without a speech. When you drifted out of reach, I felt time slip off its leash. And now the quiet lingers, still as frost upon a beach, marking where the night first broke. When you drifted out of reach. I remember as you lifted up your arm in the place where your soft shadow touched the starlight with its charm. And I knew in that brief moment something bigger sparked in you, a tenderness, a brilliance that the stars already knew. Where your shadow touched the stars, I saw who you really are. Something fragile, something bright, made of longing and of light. Breathing out through all these scars, I remember from afar where your shadow touched the stars and rewrote my beating heart. Now the distance stretching through us feels as wide as outer space, and the warmth that once felt certain leaves a cold but tender trace. But I still recall the moments when your dreams lit up the night, when your laughter held the cosmos in a quiet, gentle light. We were perfect for an evening, for a breath the world allowed, and the sky itself grew softer as it held you in its shroud. Though you're fading like a memory, drifting past a midnight star, I still chase the constellation where your shadow reached too far. Funny how the brightest moments stay alive when love is thin, how the starlight keeps on glowing where your story once had been, where your shadow touched the stars. Love stood still in glowing jaws, every shimmer, every beam held the shape of our soft dream. Even as we drift to scars, I hold on to who you are, where your shadow touched the stars, leaving echoes near and far. Softly in the glow of distant suns, maybe we were just two dreamers speaking truths in fragile tongues. Maybe hearts outgrow their constellations, but the memory still survives of the night your shadow wandered, where the stars lit up our lives, where your shadow touched the stars. Time stood still inside its bars, and though now you feel so far, your soft glow is still my star. Every heartbeat, every scar knows exactly who you are, where your shadow touched the stars. You became my brightest spark, and even now in darkness, when the night forgets its spark, I still see your shadow shine with the stars inside the dark. Trying to hold on to someone who's slipping away, chasing their echo instead of their presence, chasing the echo of you. I've been walking through the places where your laughter used to flow, where the sound of your soft footsteps once could warm my fragile throat. Now the world feels like a hallway filled with shadows you withdrew, and I'm left with fifth and evidence of the echo that was you. I call your name in whispers as the night grows pale and cold, but the silence only answers with the stories left untold. Though I reach into the darkness, hoping something will break through, all memory touches the echo left you. I know you've been the place my heart can chase, but my heart keeps shadows in the spaces you erase. I keep chasing the echo of you, every whisper, every clue, through the halls of memory's door, where your voice lives evermore. Though the truth is breaking through, I still run where dreams construe, chasing echoes, chasing you, chasing what I want. There's a corner of the city where you brushed my hand in June, where the dreamlight wrapped around us like a tender silver tune. Now the lamplights seem much dimmer as they fall in scattered view, and the pavement holds the outline of the echo shaped like you. I replay the gentle moments that we kept between the lines, every quiet dawn confession, every tremor in our signs. But the more I grasp the memory, the more distance pulls it through, till I'm chasing only fragments of a truth I once felt true. Funny how a fading presence still feels real enough to chase, how a whisper feels like gravity we're too broken to replace. I keep chasing the echo of you, through the moments we outgrew. Every shadow feels like call, every silence like a wall. Though the night says we're askew, still my heart won't bid adieu, chasing echoes of our view, chasing dreams I thought we drew. Maybe love becomes an echo when the real thing slips away, when the heart can't stop repeating what the soul can't make obey. Maybe I'm still holding tightly to the things we used to do, but I'm learning every heartbeat echoes nothing without you. I keep chasing the echo of you, though the world keeps turning new, and the further that you roam, the less every place feels home. Still my heart keeps pushing through the hollows I construe, chasing echoes, chasing you, chasing love we never grew. And when the night is quiet and my thoughts slip out of view, I still hear a fading whisper, just an echo left of you. Last night I fell asleep with all the lights still softly on, and the quiet wrapped around me like a memory half begun. Then I heard a gentle whisper drifting through the fading noise, a familiar tender echo, a dream that sounded like your voice. so softly from a distance I could feel, like the past was reaching forward with a truth it couldn't seal. And the warmth of your old laughter painted shadows of a choice, till my heart began to tremble at a dream that used your voice. I woke up searching corners for a presence that felt near, but all I found were echoes of the love I used to hear. Dreams that sound like your voice, like a faded fragile choice, floating through the midnight air, soft enough to say you care. Though you've left me little poise, still my heart can't silence noise. Dreams that sound like your voice, pull me back without a choice. I tried to shake the feeling, but it lingered in my chest, like a ghost of something gentle that once held me at my best. Your words were not in sentences, just murmurs slipping loose, but I knew their hidden meaning in the dreamlight's quiet truths. I heard you say I'm sorry, though your lips were never seen, and I reached to pull you closer like you'd stayed within the dream. But the moment felt like water I could touch but not rejoice, as you drifted from my fingers in a dream that used your voice. Funny how the sleeping mind holds the things we can't let go, how a whispered dream confession says the truths we never show. Dreams that sound like your voice, leaving me without a choice. Every syllable so thin pulls me where you've never been. Through the dark and quiet poise, I still hear familiar noise. Dreams that sound like your voice make my heart lose its poise. Maybe dreams are where we meet when the waking world forbids, where the echoes of our past hide beneath the heart's closed lids. Maybe you're not reaching for me, maybe it's my mind's device, trying hard to keep you living in a dream that holds your voice. Dreams that sound like your voice, fragile echoes, fragile joys. Every time I close my eyes, you return in soft disguise. Though the truth is cold and void, still my longing is deployed. Dreams that sound like your voice leave me broken yet adjoined. And when I wake in silence, with no echo to rejoice, I still lie there remembering every dream that used your voice. Didn't break all at once, no crash, no sudden fall, just a quiet kind of aching, hiding softly in the wall. Your voice grew faint and distant, though you stood a breath away, and the dream we built together started dimming into gray. I watch the colors fade out of your once familiar tone, like a movie losing focus in a frame we used to own. And the love that once felt endless began slipping slow and vague. That's the moment I first tasted this slow motion heartache. And the truth came down in whispers, not in thunder, not in cries, just the way your gaze avoided every question in my eyes. Slow motion heartache, breaking soft but clear. Every breath a memory of when you were still near. Slow motion heartache, stretching through the night, losing you in fragments, drains the color from the light. Slow motion heartache, nothing left to take, just the quiet, painful rhythm of a slow motion heartbreak. I felt the distance forming, like a fog between our hands, like the world was pulling gently on our unsteady strands. You spoke in softer sentences, careful not to say too much, and the warmth that lived inside you pulled away from every touch. I asked if something hurt you, but you smiled the way you do when your heart is telling stories that your voice won't let come through. And the moment lingered heavy, like a tremor in the wave, a ripple of the sorrow in this slow motion heartache. Funny how a breaking moment stretches time to make it stay. How a single muffled silence turns a sunrise into gray. Slow motion heartache, falling grain by grain. Every second slows me down inside this gentle pain. Slow motion heartache, holding every ache, watching love unravel in a slow motion heartbreak. Maybe love does not collapse, maybe it unwinds in strands, soft and fragile, barely breathing, slipping slowly from our hands. Maybe heartache isn't sudden, maybe it prefers to ache in the quiet, pulling gently till there's nothing left to take. Every drop a memory falling through my veins. Slow motion of this slow motion heartache. The morning felt much colder when the sunlight touched my bed, and the quiet on the pillow felt like things we'd left unsaid. I reached across the blankets for the warmth you used to leave, but the emptiness beside me whispered truths I couldn't weave. Your laughter wasn't drifting through the hallway like before, and the comfort of your footsteps didn't echo on the floor. I breathed in with the daybreak, but my heart broke in two. For the first time I felt fully, almost waking up without you. And the room was filled with memories in the dust of morning light, shadows dancing, soft reminders of a love slipping from sight. Almost waking up without you, feeling everything untrue. Cold sheets where your warmth once lay, silence where your voice would stay. Every dawn a clearer view of the space you're fading through. Almost waking up here, breaking softly, breaking new. But it didn't taste the same, for the quiet in the kitchen somehow whispered out your name. Your mug was on the counter like a ghost of former days, and the steeping bitter silence filled the room in heavy haze. I tried to hum the song you love, but my voice fell out of tune, like the night had stolen something I'd forgotten far too soon. And the moments we built gently were dissolving in the blue, as I stood there half awakened, almost waking up without you. Funny how the little habits hold the heart more than we see. How a missing second presence turns a house to memory. Almost waking up without you, though my dreams still follow through. Every whisper in the dawn feels like something dear is gone. No matter what I try to do, morning breaks the truth in two. Almost waking up without you hurts more than it ever knew. Maybe love begins in dreaming, but it ends in morning light, where the truth becomes much clearer than the softness of the night. Maybe losing someone slowly is the hardest pain to view, half asleep and half reminded. You're no longer moving through. Almost waking up without you, still I reach like lovers do, searching for the fading trace of your warmth or of your face. But the morning pulls me through to the truth I dread is true. Almost waking up without you. sky with paler hue. And each day the dawn grows colder, yet a part of me still knew I'd soon open both my eyes, fully awakened. Without you, without you, without you. When dawn found us softly, when dawn found us softly, painting gentle strokes of sunlight through the thinning shades of gloom. The air was still and honest, like it didn't want to rush, and the dawn arrived so softly that it woke us with a hush. I found you sitting thoughtful by the window's fragile glow, with a look that held confession, something tender, something slow. Your eyes met mine with longing, with the truth we couldn't flee. When the dawn found us softly, it found more than just a day in me. And the silence grew more gentle, not the kind that makes us part, but the warm, forgiving quiet that begins to mend the heart. When dawn found us softly, and rewrote the night before, pulled the darkness from our chests, laid it sleeping on the floor. All the fears that held us tightly lost their shadows in that light. When dawn found us softly, something fragile turned to right. You whispered, I've been distant, with a tremble in your tone, like the night it held you hostage, in a place you walked alone. I nodded without speaking, letting morning do its part, letting sunlight ease the bruises left inside your quiet heart. You reached for me with fingers that were shaking just a bit, like a truce from deeper places you weren't sure would truly fit. And I took your hand so gently, letting softness set us free. When the dawn found us softly, it found space for you and me. Funny how the early hours clear the haze we couldn't see, how the morning's tender silence feels like truth in harmony. When dawn found us softly, we were softer than before. All the distance fell aside, like a coat upon the floor. All the words we feared to voice now felt safer to explore. When dawn found us softly, we weren't breaking anymore. Maybe healing moves in sunlight, where the shadows lose their claim, where the ache turns into honesty and the guilt turns into flame. Maybe dawn arrives to tell us that the night was not the end, pause between the heartbeats of a love we still defend. When dawn found us softly, it returned where we had missed. All the warmth we thought was gone, all the tenderness we kissed. We were fragile but not broken. We were learning how to be. When the dawn found us softly, it found light in you and me. And ever since that morning, when the shadows ceased their plea, I remember what we mended. When dawn found you and me. Fall. You couldn't name how your eyes were soft with sadness, how you whispered you felt strange. I watched you walk away slowly through a night that dimmed your glow. And the love was still between us. There was pain you had to know. But somewhere in the distance, past the trembling of your fears, a quiet light was waiting. Through the weight of all your tears, a glow that grew behind you, gently filling what you lacked, till you finally turned around to the light that led you back. And I saw it in your footsteps, in the way your breathing changed. Something soft was pulling toward me, through the spaces rearranged. The light that led you back, breaking gently through the black. Every sorrow, every ache fell behind you in its way. Through the silent heart attack, through the memories that crack, you returned along the track by the light that led you back. You'd walk through shadows, through the pieces of your doubt, through the corners of your memory where you tried to shut me out. But every time you drifted further, something warm would intervene, like a spark inside the dark that knew exactly what you mean. You told me love was frightening, but the distance hurt you more, and the echo of my laughter pulled you back to what came before. And though the road was fragile, though your heart felt out of whack, still you followed something glowing by the light that led you back. Funny how the things we're fearing never dim the love we keep. How a single gentle memory guides us home through wounds too deep. The light that led you back, painting gold along your track. Every tremor of your fear brought you somehow closer here. Through the lonely heart you packed, through the nights that turned to black, you return, no need to ask, by the light that led you back. little glimmers in the distance, guiding hearts without a fight. Maybe every quiet moment that we shared before the break became stars inside the darkness, lighting every step you take. The light that led you back held you firm when things would crack, pulled you through the trembling air, through the doubts you couldn't bear, till the shadows lost their knack and your soul no longer slack. You found home along the track by the light that led you back. Without a warning, like a whisper through the trees, like the world had shifted gently just to carry you to me. Your shadow touched my doorway as the sunrise brushed your hair, and you breathed my name so softly, like the hush of morning air. I felt the night release us, felt the worries slowly fade, as the warmth of your returning found the space we almost frayed. You didn't need grand gestures, didn't speak a long repair. You returned in quiet sunlight, and I knew without you speaking that the storm had run its course, that your heart had found its center after drifting off its source. You returned like morning air, soft and warm and always there, filling spaces that were cold, turning stories that were cold. You returned like morning air, soft and warm and always there, filling spaces that were cold, turning stories into gold. Every sorrow stripped to bare lost its weight when you were near. You returned like morning air, bringing light back everywhere. You stepped across the threshold with a tenderness so new, with a look that held the sunrise and the promise breaking through. You whispered I've been hurting and your voice was trembling low, but your honesty was healing in a way you couldn't know. I reached to hold your fingers, felt the dawn slip through your skin, felt the warmth of reconciliation slowly settling again. No more distance, no more shadows, just the truths we chose to share. When you came into my morning, like a breath of open air, funny how the simple moments carry more than storms can take, how a single honest return heals 1,000 silent ache. You return like morning air, with a softness rare and fair. Every doubt began to fade in the glow that morning made. With your presence everywhere, life grew lighter than its care. You return like morning air, lifting shadows from the pair. Maybe love is not in thunder, not in grand or forceful tries, but in gentle reappearance, like a dawn that softly lies. Maybe hearts find compare, like the way you found your footing in the breath of morning air. You return like morning air with a peace I couldn't spare. Pull me from the heavy night, wrap me gently back in light. Every ache became aware of the healing in your stare. You return like morning air, softly saying, I'm still here. And I breathe a little deeper every time you're standing there. For you came back into my life just as soft as morning air. The night was calm and open as we settled into bed, and the quiet wrapped around us like the truth that had been said. Your breathing fell in rhythm to the soft pull of the sheets, and I felt the warmth returning in your body next to me. It wasn't loud or sudden, not a grand or sweeping tide, just a gentle kind of closeness as we lay there side by side. Your fingers brushed my shoulder with a tenderness so wide, and I knew our hearts were dreaming side by side. And the room felt like a harbor where our drifting came to rest, where the storms we walked through slowly faded softly in our chest, dreaming side by side, where the shadows can divide, breathing in the same soft air, feeling seen and feeling fair. Every worry pushed aside, every tremor pacified. Now our hearts can dream a line, dreaming gently side by side. Dreaming. You whispered in the darkness, I'm not scared the way I was, and your voice held quiet courage in its tender trembling buzz. I reached to trace the outline of your hand beneath the glow, and the peace inside the moment felt like something we could grow. We didn't need you to speak the things our hearts already knew, that the distance had been fragile, that the healing finally grew. In the hush of reunited calm, our fears had stepped aside, as our souls began their dreaming side by side. Funny how the softest nights hold the truths we used to hide, how a single shared exhale brings two hearts back into stride, dreaming side by side, where the ache has finally died, wrapped in dawn's forgiving glow, letting all the hurt let go. In your warmth I now confide, in your breath I now reside, finding love we nearly died. Now we're dreaming side by side. Maybe love was always waiting for the pieces to align, for the dream we chased
distant fragments to return when it was time. Maybe hearts don't break forever, maybe they just step aside till the night is soft enough to dream again, side by side. Dreaming, dreaming side by side, with no distance left to hide. Every fear we used to bear melted in the evening air. Now our futures coincide, now our souls are amplified, finding peace so bona fide, gently dreaming side by side. Through with its soft and golden guide, I know we're finally whole again, dreaming, dreaming side by side.
We were standing in the quiet, morning found our names, tracing every faded moment in the soft and golden frames. You looked at me with tenderness we hadn't touched in years, and the sunlight through the window gently softened all our fears. Every dream that once felt broken, every tear we couldn't hide, now felt like threads that wove us closer on this calm returning tide. And the pieces we had scattered found their place without an ocean, as we learned to see the meaning in what grew through slow motion. And I realized every silence, every tremor, every ache was the stepping stone that shaped us into what we one day made. And we became in the slow motion, through every rise and every break, through the drifting and returning, through the heartache and the ache, in the dreamlike waves along, in the healing we partake. Love became its truest notion in the gentle slow motion wake. Motion wake. I remember when we faltered, when your voice grew faint and shy, when you drifted through the dreamlight like a cloud across the sky. I remember chasing echoes that your silence couldn't mend, and the heartbreak breaking slowly like a film drawn to its end. But I also saw you turning, saw the light that led you home, saw the dawn rebuild your courage so we wouldn't walk alone. And the night that once divided fell away without commotion, till we stood here finally knowing what survived the slow motion. Funny how the gentle moments hold the truth our hearts reclaim, how the quietest collisions shape a love that stays the same. And what we became in the slow motion, through the fading, through the flame, through the midnight confessions written
We became the kind of lovers only slow motion can reclaim. Maybe love was always waiting in the pauses we outgrew, in the halves of broken evenings where the light kept shining through. Maybe hearts don't heal by thunder, maybe they return by grace, finding strength in gentle timing, finding home in your embrace. And in all the shifting hours where we learned what we could lose, slow motion made us careful, slow motion let us choose. And what we became in the slow motion, in the longing, in the climb, was a love we built through patience, holding tight to borrowed time. Every fractured, every soft ache turned to something warm, sublime. We became our truest selves in the slow motion of the climb. And now the world moves gently as our hearts move in devotion, for we finally understand what we became in the slow